So there's been a new brand that recently came out. I don't know how long ago they came out. I just know they started being hyped a few months ago. And you guys finally started to come to my channel and start asking me to pick them up, whether it was the white, the black, the platinum, whatever it is. But I decided to start with the one that interested me the most. I'm not sure if they're a clone house or just inspired by, but today we're going to be doing my full review of Dumont Nitro Red. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. For those of you who are new, I appreciate you guys showing up for yet another full review of a brand new, I think it's brand new. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe this was out for a while and then people just started catching on to it lately. But I know that back in March is when this really started to go across the entire fragrance community. You would see it on almost every channel, whether it was the red, the white, the black, the platinum. I know the whole line's been pretty much hyped because right now clones are a really big thing in the fragrance community. And I'm not 100% sure if this whole line is clones or if they're just inspired by. I know this one is definitely up that route while doing its own thing. With that said, again, this was starting to be hyped, and usually I'm not one to jump on the clone train. I mean, I like clones, but I usually don't wear them over the originals. I'll review them for you guys, and when it comes to other fragrances that are under 30 bucks, that are inspired by, or even ones that are being hyped across the fragrance community, I'm usually not one to jump on the hype train. I usually just do brand new release designer fragrances, and then any kind of niche that I'm in love with that I want to talk to you guys about, or indie, obviously. But anyway, today, you guys convinced me otherwise. So we're going to be doing my full review of this one. It is Dumont Nitro Red. So I did my first impressions on my live stream, but I will still show you the presentation just so you can see it. The fragrance I got for like $30 to $34, which is the average price across the board. I'll put a link in the description, but this is the box. Mine came damaged, but the bottle was fine. This is an eau de parfum, and it's 3.4 ounce, 100 milliliter. Nothing else really available on there. Just the ingredients and all that kind of stuff, and the website. Not that you guys care about that. This is the bottle. This is what all of the Nitro bottles come in. And I also found out that there's two other lines under Nitro, or under Dumont. So I have to check those out. I heard they're very good. But this is the bottle. It has this like kind of leather placard around the entire thing. It has a little tag here, which I don't like. And I also don't like things that hang off bottles, but it is what it is. $30 bottle, whatever. And then the cap. It doesn't have a magnetic strip, and it also doesn't sit in place, so do not pick it up from the cap, just an FYI. And then as far as the atomizer, there we go. It's a $30 atomizer. I mean, it's honestly better than a few of the $30 atomizers out there. Has a decent disbursement. It's nothing that people are going to complain about. And the bottle doesn't leak or anything like that, so we're good. So Dumont Nitro Red, what's it all about? Well, this is a full review, so let's take a look at the notes so you guys can follow along with me. The top notes are apple, lavender, and bergamot. The mid notes are watermelon, cedar, and calamus. And the base notes are amber, sandalwood, and patchouli. Don't know what calamus is, so I'm not going to really talk about that, but it's not something you really need to know. This has been talked about since March as being a watermelon Invictus, which is also compared to Rasazi Hawass, First Instinct Together, Legend Spirit, all of those type of fragrances out there. This one fits that mold. It is, I would still say, I have to give the little shout out to Rasazi Hawass. Hawass with the plum is still my favorite from this style of DNA, but this is closer to Invictus because while Hawass has the plum mixed together with that watery, aquatic woodiness, what is Invictus and First Instinct together and all of them known for? It's that apple mixture. It's the apple aquatic. It's the fruity aquatic. That's what that entire style of DNA is around, is fruity aquatic. This one, no different. It still has the apple. It still has the aquatic notes. It's fresh. It's ozonic. And then people have been saying watermelon Invictus. So when you hear watermelon Invictus, what is the first note that you think this is going to smell like? You think it's going to smell like watermelon. Well, honestly, I was shocked because when I first sprayed this on, I was like, doesn't smell like watermelon Invictus. It smells like Invictus with a decent amount of apple. It has that lavender, has a little bit of this kind of, I would say like a green bergamot, but more of like a candied green bergamot. If you want watermelon, still go with this one, XXX Watermelon Shine, which I just happen to have on my table right now for my next video. But XXX Watermelon Shine, that's a natural watermelon. That's what you would want to go for. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive by copper still, but still. So when you first spray this on, it smells like Invictus. It's fruity, aquatic, the apple, bergamot. You do get a slight bit of watermelon under there, but this is more of almost like a candied watermelon, not a natural watermelon. Like it's not fresh and juicy. It's not, but the fragrance itself is a ozonic, fresh, like a little bit aquatic underneath it. It is definitely a little bit watery, but it's focused around that apple, the lavender, that Invictus style DNA. And I do have to say, as it compares to the Invictus line, I would say that Dumont Nitro Red, while I like the Invictus bottles better, I think this is better than any of the comparable Invictuses. I haven't tried Aqua 2016, but compared to Legend, the original Invictus Aqua, the newest version of it, not the 2024, but the one that came out right before that, like 2020 or 2018 or whatever. This is better than that because it has a little bit of a nuanced difference, and that nuanced difference is a little bit of that candied bergamot and some of that watermelon. Again, the watermelon's not prominent, but as soon as I sprayed this on, you know what the wife said? She goes, "What are you wearing? That smells amazing." I said, "That's what Halen bought me, my daughter." And she's like, "Yeah, that's a really good fragrance." So if you want the wife's approval, you got it. It is a bit more youthful. I would say this is definitely a just like going out during the summer, having fun style scent. While it does have a little bit of a depth and ambery tone as you get to the dry down and a bit of a woody tone, that would really lean this to be any season. I mean, I think you could easily get away with this in the winter. Would you want to wear it if you have 10 fragrances and you have 5 that are cool weather fragrances? Probably not. It's just because it has that more bright ozonic freshness to it that is not really going to lend itself to being something you want to wear. While I think it still would work because of the ambery depth that it has. But really, to not really confuse you guys, so again, it opens up fruity, aquatic, a little bit of that candied bergamot, a little bit of that watermelon underneath. Not as prominent as you would think, but again, fruity aquatic. As it starts to work its way into the mid of the dry down, you still have that freshness, a little bit of that ozonic feeling, that airy feeling kind of just goes out the window. Some of the fruits in the watermelon start to dissipate and start to get replaced with this amber sandalwood mixture. It is a patchouli based fragrance, so you do get a bit of this kind of like sweet patchouli underneath, but for the most part, you get a little bit of a creamy sandalwood, a little bit of an ambery tone. This is very linear. It's just in replace of parts of the fruitiness and parts of that airy quality, you replace it with a little bit more depth, a little bit of a resinous amber tone, and then some of that creamy woods. Overall, I think Dumont Nitro Red's actually very nice. It actually pushes out very nice. It is a long-lasting fragrance for this style of fragrance. It's around the same as like Hawas, where it's going to be around 8 to 10 hours, while also pushing out above average. For the first hour, it actually pushes out pretty heavy. It does, after about 2 hours, start to sit a bit closer, but you can still smell it. It's just going to be closer to your skin. It does last about 8 hours, like on average about 8 hours, but it does sit closer to your skin after about 2 to 3. But overall, I think it's a really nice fragrance. I have now tried the black, though. I got a decan of the black, and I don't like the black. So I'm 1 for 1 with Dumont. I'm not going to review the black until I get all of them, and then I can do a whole line breakdown. But I am confident enough to say that this is an inspired by version of Invictus, if not like a clone of Invictus, because it is really close to Invictus if you just added in that watermelon, because even Invictus has that woody tone in the dry down, a little bit of that ambery depth in the dry down. It has the fruity aquatic up top. This even has the apple lavender mixture. I mean, it's close enough to where if you like Invictus, you'll like this. If you just want a twist to Invictus, There you go. And honestly, this smells better. I like this one better. And I'm going to actually get some wares out of it because I don't own Invictus anymore. I used to, and I ran through a bottle in like 2015, 2014, and or 20, whatever it was. And I just decided to not rebuy it. And so now I'll end up just wearing through this probably over the next 10 years. So yeah, that is Dumont Nitro Red. It's going to be, again, more of a spring and summer fragrance. But is it anything that's going to wow anybody? No, but it smells great. It's a mass appealing monster, and I think that you're really going to like it. If you want, again, Invictus, just with a nice ambery undertone and a little touch of this watermelon in the first, like, 2 hours. Again, that starts to fade away and get replaced by the sandalwood. But, I mean, it's really nice. It's a nice fragrance. I wish the bottle looked a bit different, but whatever. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. And again, I'll be back with another video. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.